Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie, or Dr. Ruth Newstifter if you want to be formal. I'm a professional sexuality educator and I blog over at exploringintimacy.com. But today I'm here answering your questions on spicy sex and relationships, thanks to the great folks at funwares.com who sell all kinds of fantastic toys and make this video possible. You can visit them at funwares.com. And if you have a question that you want to ask me about sex or relationships, maybe to be answered here on a YouTube video, you can send it to Ask Dr. Ruthie, AskDrRuthie at funwares.com. And I'm doing the second part of how to be safe in an open relationship, especially if you've been in a monogamous relationship for some time and you're rethinking about open relationship type safety after not having thought about it for some time. So before, in the last video, we spoke a little bit about the ways in which you need to be protected. Vaginal and anal sex needs protection for sure. Oral sex on him and oral sex on her. Manual stimulation, toys, and making sure that you're being aware of safety issues and changing your protection barrier if you're going back and forth between partners, you lucky person, you. What are we going to talk about now? Now we're going to talk about what you need to have in your protection kit. How do you make a good protection kit if you're going to some sort of event where you might get to be swinging or where you might get to be playing with multiple partners or even partners other than your typical partner? All right, so what do you want to have in your kit? Well, the first thing you want to have is, am I going to say condoms? No, I'm going to list that as the second. The first thing you need to have is high quality lube and lots of it. Why do I say that? That's because a high quality lube makes things more fun, but also helps to keep your barrier intact and lasting longer. Whether you're using a male or a female condom, lots of good lube is really key. Now, the quality of the lube is important. Some of you wrote to me and told me that you saw some research that said that lube could actually lead to a higher risk of disease transmission. Read your article carefully. First of all, it's only preliminary research. And second of all, different lubes responded differently or reacted differently in the tests. So the higher quality, the better. What is a high quality lube? And just because they sell it at the drugstore or at the sex store doesn't necessarily make it high quality lube. And you want to be looking for lubricants that, really, you get what you pay for with this, right? So you want to be looking at specialty sexuality stores and looking for the really high quality, well-rated stuff that's low on toxic chemicals. We want to be avoiding cheap types of glycerin. The more expensive glycerin doesn't cause or contribute to yeast infection, but the cheaper kinds do, and that's typically what you're going to see in your drugstore type lubricants, I hate to tell you. So that high quality lubricant and plenty of it. I like to recommend to people that you buy a pump bottle and have it in your bag. Why a pump bottle? Because it's so much easier to get the lube out of it without breaking the barrier of infection. So if I've got a glove on and it's got somebody's good juices and stuff all over it, and I reach over to grab a bottle of lube and I squeeze it, what did I just do? I've got now all of these lovely but possibly contaminated bodily fluids on the outside of the lube bottle. But what if I can be touching my partner, I've got my glove, and I can go ahead and just use the back of my hand or my elbow or whatever the case may be and push on the top of that pump bottle to dispense lube into my other hand. Now we've got a safer way to go ahead and do lube dispensing. So we want a high quality lube, and I really recommend a pump bottle for that. So the next thing that you want to have in your kit then are condoms, and the kind that work best for you. So a high quality latex or polyurethane or the tested FDA approved type of condom, and check different sizes and brands to see which feel the best for you. Female condoms are also wonderful. You want enough condoms to protect for oral sex on a guy and for any kind of vaginal or anal sex you may be having, and to slip your toys into as well. So make sure you've got plenty of them. And not only do you want to have whatever your favorite kind of condom is, but if it's not already this kind, you want to make sure to have some unlubricated condoms or possibly some flavored condoms as well for oral sex. So nice selection of condoms. If you're going to a party that may have different folks that you may be having fun with that you don't really know that much about yet, but you're about to, then I would suggest going ahead and getting a couple of different sizes and brands, some latex and some poly products. polyurethane, and there's different kind of poly materials they're made out of. Also a good reason to have high quality lube. The higher quality, better lubes will be more friendly to a wider range of bodies. Your cheap, high glycerin, Astroglide type lubes, more people's bodies have trouble with them. All right, so you've got your lubes, you've got your pump bottle of lube, lots of it. And you're mindful about how you dispense the lube. You've got your high quality latex and poly whatever condoms, male and female, and your gloves. Again, these can be latex, these can be nitrile. So for people who are sensitive to latex and can't deal with that, nitrile can be wonderful. You can also buy nitrile gloves in really cute purple and black so they can match your outfits and things like that as well. We've got your unlubricated and potentially flavored condoms. If you're using a flavored lube, oftentimes flavored lube, well, pretty much every time I've seen, flavored lube is better at flavoring than it is at lubing. Even the really high quality stuff, their flavored lube is not quite as good for lubing as their regular lube is. So, you might want to have different kinds of lube for that. And keep in mind that your less expensive, lower quality flavored lubricants will very frequently have sugars in them that you might not want to get in the vaginal area, so keep that in mind. Last but not least, by any means, is that you want to have baggies for your toys and to dispose of used gloves and things like that. You want to be a good guest and not leave items all over the place that they're going to have to wear gloves to pick up and dispose of. So each clean sex toy should go in its own baggie. And then when you just are done with that toy, it's been with a partner and you need to bag it because you're going to a different partner, or you're done with that partner and that toy, you want to go ahead and put it back in its plastic bag and mark it in some way so that you know it's been used. So put it back in the bag, with the condom still there if you want to, or have a separate set of bags, X on them for the ones with used toys and no X for the one with clean toys. However you want to go ahead and do that. That way you can carry them home and sanitize them appropriately. Of course, we're only buying toys we can really sanitize, right? And it's easier to keep them separate that way. When you go through and clean your toys, wear your gloves and dispose of the used bags properly. Don't wash and reuse those bags. If you're using silicone dildos without any kind of mechanical stuff in them, you can go ahead and boil them, or you can clean them as appropriate for that particular type of toy. If the toy can't be sanitized, don't be sharing it with people. That should give you a well-rounded protection kit for while you're out having fun. And remember that putting on those gloves, getting out those condoms can be a really sexy form of seduction and foreplay. How exciting to know that you're going to get to try something with this partner, and how do you know? Because they're showing you their interest by getting out the materials that'll make it be happy and safe. Very exciting type stuff. All right, I'm Dr. Ruthie. I hope that this helps you to have a safe, wonderful, happy time with your multiple partners, and that I hope that it also brings wonderful sexual energy back to your primary relationship, to the person who asked the question. Dr. Ruthie, I hope this helps, and I'll see you at the next video. Thanks.